I have come to realize that the secret of your purpose cannot be discerned by the human as intelligent or an IQ test. What does this mean? This means that sometimes when you fail doing something, you start blaming yourself and you start calling yourself a failure. But I have come to tell you today that never and ever call yourself a failure, because there is no one who's a failure. No one who's a failure. No. Just like I say, the secret of your purpose cannot be discerned by the human as intelligent or an IQ test, which means the whole truth about you, only God who knows. So there is no other human about you who can testify, who can tell you what you're good at. Only God who knows the real you. So because I remember when I was in college, when I was taking this course called criminology, during the first semester, I failed the course. I kept failing, and then when the exams came in, that was doing like almost to close the year so that the semester can be over. My professor came to me and he was like, "Man, Anderson Thomas, come here, man, we're gonna have a meeting, me and you." So I had a meeting with him and he was like, "Man, for now, I don't think that you will be able to make it. I don't think you will be able to pass this course. What I can tell you is, if I was you, I would drop out this course before it gets too late." What I tell him was, "Man, look, I believe in myself and I have faith that I will pass this course." That's what I tell him. I have faith, I believe in myself, and I will do what it takes in order for me to pass the course. He was like, "Okay, if that's the case, it's on you. But what I was telling you is that I just want to let you know, if I was you, you should be able to drop this course out because it's too late, you're not gonna pass." A few weeks later, we took some exams. We had a lot of things going on during that time. So I studied, I paid a lot of attention, I did all I can. And later on, at the end of the semester, I passed the course with the percentage that I was not expecting. So which means, do not ever and ever call yourself a failure. No one is a failure. It's just a try that you have to go through in order for you to know what to do better and become a better person, or become a better at whatever you are doing later on. But remember, in everything you do, put God first. Let God be your guide to your success. Let God be first throughout whatever you do, either your daily activity, anything. Put God first. All right, here we go. Matthew 19:26. But Jesus said, looked at them and said to them, "With men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible." This is my favorite verse, and this verse is what have made me to be who I am today. Because through everything that I do, first, I'm like, "Oh Lord, be with me, protect me, guide me," and then I follow his footsteps. Once you put God first, and once you understand what you're finna do, let him be your guide, let him be your leader. I promise you will succeed in whatever you do. Well, matter of fact, I have come to realize that we as the young people are facing a tragedy, a physical tragedy, mental tragedy. We have come to combine these three things that I'm going to talk about today as one thing. We as the young people, we don't know the difference between talent, skill, and profession. We don't know the difference between the three. If somebody asks you, what's your talent? You're gonna tell them it's that. If somebody asks you, what's your profession? You're gonna tell them exactly as your talent. If somebody asks you, what's your skill? You're gonna tell them exactly as your profession and as your talent. No, that's not how it works. Talent, skill, profession is three different things. So I have divided this into three sections. So first, talent. Talent is nature, ability that someone is born with, like a great singing voice. Skill is an ability developed through practice, experience, and learning, like playing an instrument. Profession is a specific occupation that requires education and knowledge in order for you to maintain. So let's see what God say about talent. Let's read the book of James 1:17. It says, every good and every perfect gift is from above, coming from down, from the Father of the heavenly lights. James 1:17. Every good and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like a shifting shadow. In other words, this verse states that all gifts come from God. All gifts come from God, God the creator of the universe. And there is no one who God created without a gift. We all do have gifts. There is no one who was created that God didn't give a gift. We all do have gifts, or we all do have talent. We all do. The problem is that it is hard for us to discover what our talents are. That's the issue. That's the problem. But we all do. The problem is we don't know how to find it. We don't know what type of talent that God created us with. That's the problem. But once you have discovered what your talent is, you should be able to embrace it. You should be able to use it and become the light for other people to find that way. Because life is unpredictable, which means we all need each other's help, because life to success isn't linear, it's very spiral. Life to success isn't linear, it's very spiral. Or in other words, life is not a straightforward path. It's not. Life is not a straightforward path. Life is very spiral. Or the way to success is very spiral, which means we all need people who's gonna be able to help us, who's gonna be able to lead us, to guide us, in order for us to achieve, or in order for us to become success. So, skill, what did God say about skill? Now let's talk about what God says about skill. If we read the book of Proverbs 22:29, it says, Do you see a man skillful in his work? He will stand before kings, he will not stand before men. So this Bible verse tells us skilled workers are always in demand and admired and will raise to a place of influence. Furthermore, in this life, there is nothing you can get done in life without knowing how well to do it. And for you to develop the best skills that you need, consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. So you can't expect yourself to learn something right now and you gotta wait for a month, a year, and expect yourself to do it again. You're not gonna do it, right? You're not gonna do it, because when you are learning something, you gotta focus, you gotta put your mind to it, your time, the effort, All of that is needed to something that you are learning. Consistency is the key. You're gonna keep learning and learning and learning and learning until you develop the best skill that you need. You can't just learn something today and quit and be like, I have learned this. I don't need to pay attention to it no more. I don't need to focus to it. No, you gotta learn it from day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. You gotta keep learning and learn. You can even learn like multiple times, thousands, even millions times. You can't learn one thing at once. But consistency, that's what it means. Consistency, which means repeating the same process over and over and over again. Consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. You gotta keep learning and learning and learning until you become good at it. So, the more you learn, the better you will become. Here is a quick example about skill. For young people, let's say you are 16 years old and you are expecting yourself to start driving soon. But suddenly, you don't have that money to invest into driving school. You don't have that money to invest into driving school. Here is what I would recommend you to do. But before I proceed forward, I would like to say this simple phrase. That's luck and risks are siblings. I repeat this. Luck and risk are siblings. And this means that they are both the reality that every outcome in life is guided by force or other than individual effort. So which means if you wanted to start driving soon, and remember that you are still underage, and remember you got no money to invest into driving school, so here is what I prefer you to do. I know you have a parents, or the brothers, or the sisters, and they all do have a vehicle, or they all do have a car. They all do. So, keep your eye on them. Keep your eye on them. As soon they park their car, grab the car, and take somewhere you think is safe for you and for other people. And start driving. Never and ever worry about the road rules or the road laws. Keep doing it so often until you take yourself to the DMV for the driving license test. I promise you, as soon you pass your driving test at DMV, within few weeks, you will be driving with a DMV colleague who will be conducting your driving skill. As soon you are driving with a DMV colleague, you will astonish him or her. You will surprise them because the way you will be driving for them is not going to be normal like someone who's brand new in driving. You will surprise them. They will be like, oh wow, man, it seems like you've been driving for a while. And you're gonna be like, nah, it's my first time in driving. I never drive anyway. But remember, you're the one who knows what you have done in the past. So as soon you drive good, you drive well, the person who's conducting your driving skills, they will be like, man, you don't need to drive. I can see that you got the driving skills. It seems like you've been driving. They're gonna be like, man, turn around, man. Let's get back to the DMV so we can get you out of here. That's what they're gonna tell you. And what I'm saying, I have done it. I have done it multiple times. Because I remember I started driving a car illegally when I was 15 years old. That's when I started driving a car illegally. So when I was driving the car illegally, I was acting like somebody who do have a driver's license, and when I don't. And I know some few other people that we have did this together, and we all still together, and we're all still living. So which means skill, you just gotta be, you don't gotta stop worrying about anything. Never feel nervous. Just know that luck and risk are siblings. Get yourself out of your comfort zone. Stop anything that prevents you from doing what you can do. You gotta stop it. If you don't, that's when life is gonna whoop your ass until you surrender, and there's nobody who's gonna be there for you to help you to get out of it. So, profession. Let's see what God says about profession. Colossians 3:23-24 says, "Work willingly at whatever you do, as though you are working for the Lord rather for the people. Remember that the Lord will give you inheritance, your reward, and the master you are serving in Christ." I repeat this again. Colossians 3:23-24 says, "Work willingly at whatever you do, as though you are working for the Lord rather than for people. Remember that the Lord will give you inheritance as your reward, and that the master you are serving in Christ." Which means, in your profession, first, seek the kingdom of God as your top priority. Secondly, as soon as you're working into your profession, use it, work to serve other people. Because that's what's gonna make God happy, and that's what's gonna make Him give you more power and strength in order for you to work hard on your profession. So here we go. As I conclude this, you will need all these 3 keywords in your daily activity: talent, skill, profession. In your daily activity, talent is needed. In your long-term plans, short-term plans, you need talent, skill, and profession. Just in everything you would do, just note that you will need all these 3 keywords in order for you to maintain your life. What matters for you is to know what your talent is, what your skills are, and what your profession is. Something that you want to pursue as a career, as your daily occupation. Because they says teamwork makes a dream become reality, which means talent plus skill plus profession. Once you discover and embrace it, you will become the light for others to find their way. So, here is a challenge that we have now. The challenge that we have right now is that I'll be having a chance to speak to young people, the high school graduate, people that are still in high school, especially females. I've been speaking to them. I'm like, I have spoken to many and many of them. I asked them, what's your career, or what do you want to do after you graduate from high school? Few, I don't know. Bunch, I want to become a nurse. Others, I want to proceed forward with my education. I'm like, okay. So those that says that they wanted to become a nurse, I'll be asking them, so okay, I get it. Becoming a nurse, I understand. That's something that you want to do. I get it. And that's your profession, so I get it. So what's your talent? They respond back again to me saying, my talent is to become a nurse. I'll be, yo, stop right there. Hey, that's enough. Stop right there. First, you tell me that you want to become a nurse. That's your profession. Secondly, I'm asking you, what's your talent? And you are responding back saying you want to become a nurse again. I'm like, no. Hey, no, stop right there. If you want to become a nurse, I just want to let you know that that's your profession. That's your career. That's your occupation. That's your daily occupation that you want to pursue. That's not your talent. A talent must be something unique in you. Something that you were born with. Something that God created you with. That's your talent. So when I speak to males, like to some young boys out there, I asked them, man, the high school graduate, those that are still in high school, even some college students. I asked them, what do you want to do, like, for high school students? What do you want to do after you graduate from high school? A lot of boys be like, man, when I graduate from high school, I want to get into the military. I'm like, okay, that's good. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. I understand. You want to become a military? Yeah, that's fine. Others says, after graduating from high school, I want to become a law enforcement officer. And others says, after I graduate from high school, I want to proceed forward with my education because I need a higher education. I want to become an attorney later on. I'm like, okay. So for those that says that they want to become a military, I asked them, okay, that's something that you want to do after graduating from high school. So I asked them again, so what's your talent? My talent is I want to become a military. I want to go in the military. I'm like, man, I'll be like, shut up, shut your mouth right there, man. I'm asking you what's your talent. I already know that your profession is becoming a military, whatever you're gonna do, I don't know. But I'm asking you for something unique, something that God created you with. They're like, I don't know. I'd be like, I don't know. I'm like, man, okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. So, we have to know the difference between these three things. We gotta know the difference between these three things. Skill, we can't talk about skills because skills, it's something that you learn, you spend your time, the effort, you learn it, you develop that skills, you keep moving up. Skill is not really essential, but talent and profession, we gotta know the difference between the two. But skill, still too. So, I recall there is this one man that I spoke to, and I asked him, man, when I look at you, the way you look, the way that I can describe you, it looks like you are a military guy. And then he was like, yeah, for sure, I am a military guy. And he asked me, how you know that I'm a military guy? I'm like, man, just the way that I'm looking at you, I can tell that you're a military guy. He was like, yeah, when I was growing up, when I was still in high school, I'm even in college, that's something that I wanted to do because I have passion for joining a military. I felt like joining a military was my talent. I'm like, man, never confuse these two things. Never and ever confuse these two things. You joining a military, that's your occupation. That's your occupation. Never said that's your, don't say that that's your talent. Please don't. Please don't. Don't. So, to conclude this or to close this, I would like to say, first, know what your talent is. Know what your profession is. Know what your skills are, something that you like to learn and develop skill from it. And remember to keep that consistency. And recall, in everything you do, put God first. That's how I live my life. I always put God first, and then I follow His footsteps. Because I've been hearing this prayer that says, God, I put you first, I follow, and let the angel be behind my back. So that's exactly how you're supposed to be living. Put God first, you next, and then the angel, let him be behind, and see how you're gonna live your life. You're gonna live your life happily, peacefully, and you will enjoy like never before. And others will learn from you. Just like I say, you will become a light for other people to discover that way. Once a while, a wise man says, dreams without a goal are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. On the road to achieving your dreams, you must apply discipline, but more importantly, consistency. Because without commitment, you will never start. Without consistency, you will never finish. Denzel Washington.